It is Thursday, January 24. Here is what's making the news today. President David Granger today said the control of Guyana's national territory cannot be taken for granted. Isaiah Braffett has our first report.
The head of state was at the time addressing Guyana Defense Force officers at the force's annual officers conference. The president highlighted, as Venezuela continues to make claims to parts of the country, it is incumbent on officers to always be in a state of readiness to secure Guyana.
The Defense Force, therefore, must maintain itself in a state of readiness to secure our entire country and protect it from present and future dangers. The Defense Act charges the Defense Force with the defense of Guyana. The force, therefore, is obligated to secure the state and safeguard the entire territory from invasion, incursion, and insurrection. Incursions must be deterred. Insurrections must be suppressed. The state must remain secure.
President Granger told the officers that the defense policy is aimed at ensuring that national defense is comprehensive, encompassing air, land, and sea. The GDF, the president said, was never intended to be a coastal force, adding that it is and will remain a comprehensive national force.
Frontline villages are guardians of our national territory and patrimony. They are our first line of defense against any attempt at incursion. They are the eyes and ears which can alert the defense and police forces to hostile action which threaten public security and national defense.
President Granger assured that the government has deployed diplomacy and resources successfully to denounce acts of aggression against its territory. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
Meantime, in a release today, the government noted its grave concern at the deepening political crisis in the neighboring Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. The government said it supports calls made at both the regional and international levels for immediate dialogue involving all political and social actors with a view to the preservation of the democratic process and a return to normalcy. It is calling on all parties to desist from actions that might lead to further violence and loss of lives and remains firmly supportive of efforts to resolve the crisis through peaceful means and with full respect for human rights and the rule of law. More on the statement can be read on our website. Following the Ram versus the Attorney General and Opposition Leader case heard yesterday, Chief Justice Roxanne George today heard the matter involving Compton Reed versus the Attorney General, former Member of Parliament Charandas Prasad, and the Speaker of the National Assembly. The Chief Justice told the parties she will make a ruling on January 31. Sanika Thorne has the details.
Senior Counsel Neil Boston, who is representing Compton Reed, argued that former Member of Parliament Charandas Prasad's vote was invalid because of his allegiance to a foreign country. Boston also told the court that Prasad was duty-bound to vote in favor of the list from which his name was extracted during the electoral process in 2015.
We feel under 153, since our electoral system is proportional representation and your name is extracted from the list of a candidate, Charandas' name was extracted from the APNU AFC list. So he cannot vote against the list from which his name was extracted. There was no such thing as conscience vote. You got to vote for the list from which your name was extracted.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams also rubbished Anil Nandalal's argument that the case brought by Compton Reed has no merit.
Mr. Dattadin and Mr. Nandalal were suggesting that it was like an election petition matter. And as I had to point out, it was not an election petition matter because the election petition period had already passed. And the issue now is what happens after the period has passed. Could somebody who's disqualified remain and have to wait until another election period? So basically that's not it. So it's a question what the court is an FDA application under the new 2016 CPR rules, the court hands are not tied. And so they could properly proceed by making, decide that they could assume jurisdiction in the matter. Okay, so it's not fatal because they didn't come by election petition, which was since 2015, and we're now in 2019.
The court case involving Compton Reed versus the Attorney General, former Member of Parliament Charandas Prasad, and the Speaker of the National Assembly is one of three matters before the Chief Justice Roxanne George following the December 21, 2018 vote in the National Assembly. The Chief Justice will hear the matter involving the Attorney General versus the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Opposition Leader on Friday, January 25. The Chief Justice will make a ruling on these cases on January 31. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
Minister of State Joseph Harmon has given the green light. Guyana is ready to host the United Nations 17th Conference on the Convention to Combat Desertification, CRIC 17, after inspecting the venue. Isaiah joins us once more.
The State Minister made the declaration following a site visit of the Artichon Convention Center on Wednesday. Minister Harmon was accompanied by a team of officials.
I feel extremely proud that we will be showcasing Guyana at a major event like this. And walking around here this afternoon, looking at the preparation, I believe we are ready to welcome the United Nations to Guyana.
The State Minister noted that upon arrival, the delegates will be surprised at the level of development which has occurred over the last 3.5 years.
Many of them might have heard about Guyana, might have seen about Guyana, might have read about Guyana, but actually coming here and experiencing that level of hospitality, that level of warmth, which is the Guyanese people, I think that they will leave here with an excellent experience. They will leave here with an understanding that the people of Guyana are at one when we come to dealing with issues of an international nature.
Minister Harmon assured that the government and people of Guyana will be well represented for the duration of the conference. The Committee of the Review for the Implementation of the United Nations Conference to Combat Desertification will run from January 28 through 30. The conference will mark the first time since the 1972 Non-Aligned Foreign Ministers Conference that an event of this magnitude will be held in Guyana. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Senior Counsel Basil Williams says government welcomes the training for police officers and prosecutors in handling money laundering cases. More in this report.
Attorney General officially opened the training exercise hosted by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions in collaboration with the National Center for State Courts. It focused on the alliance of security agencies to ensure convictions are made at the end of investigations.
It is an honor to open this workshop as it is an opportunity to bring together investigators, prosecutors, and other relevant persons so that we can enhance our capacity to investigate and prosecute money laundering.
The workshop, which began at the Marriott Hotel in Georgetown on Thursday morning, is designed to promote best practices in the successful investigation and prosecution of money laundering cases. Personnel from the various arms of the security services, such as police investigators, police prosecutors, the DPP's Office, Special Organized Crime Unit, Financial Intelligence Unit, State Assets Recovery Agency, and the attorneys within the Attorney General's Office are participating in the two-day exercise. According to the Attorney General, such training is important as money laundering threatens the economic integrity of a country.
Once money laundering is allowed to run rampant, the end results lead to the erosion of the integrity of our financial institutions, development policies, and the moral fabric of our society.
In the meantime, DPP Shalimar Ali Haq says the workshop is a great opportunity for exploration and understanding of the Money Laundering Act by the various agencies.
The Money Laundering Act has two aspects to it. It has the money laundering offenses, which are the criminal charges that are instituted in the court. And then there's the other aspect of asset forfeiture. So together we will be looking at both aspects, and we will be looking at it from the inception, from the investigations, from that report. And in order to do that, we have brought together the investigators and the prosecutors, so we can all understand what it is that has to be done.
The workshop facilitators include highly experienced prosecutors, investigators, and legal analysts who, through lectures and case studies, will demonstrate effective strategies and techniques for investigating and prosecuting simple and complex schemes carried out by criminal enterprises. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
Still to come, Foreign Affairs Minister meets with U.S. Deputy Secretary. Study confirms upgrade of the Lethem Airdrome to a regional airport is practical. And more. Stay with us.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
Welcome back. Minister of Foreign Affairs yesterday met with the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State John K. Sullivan in Washington, D.C. The two leaders commended the strength of the US-Guyana partnership, and Deputy Secretary Sullivan affirmed Guyana's sovereign rights and jurisdiction within its exclusive economic zone. They also discussed preparations for Guyana's upcoming national elections, as well as the importance of US-Guyana cooperation for Guyana's safety and security in light of instability in neighboring Venezuela. The findings of the pre-feasibility study for the upgrade of the Lethem Airdrome to a regional airport has confirmed that it would be practical to undertake the project. More in this Anara Khan report.
Following the presentation of the study for the upgrade of the Lethem Aerodrome to a regional airport, Chief Transport Officer of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Patrick Thompson, said based on the findings of the report, it would be feasible to move forward with the project.
As a consequence, we at the ministry will invite proposals in short order in the next 14 days or so from interested consultants to undertake a more detailed study of this project, including designs and environmental impacts assessment, social impacts assessment, looking at demand from farther beyond the local demand, looking at perhaps where demand can be derived from regionally in the Caribbean, Brazil, etc.
Thompson expressed his hope that within the next 12 months, the ministry will be equipped with final designs in order to commence the rehabilitation of the aerodrome. Lethem's Mayor John Macedo told InfoHub the upgrading of the aerodrome would have a positive impact on the township.
It will obviously impact in a positive way, and I'm hoping that it can be realized very soon, because it will also enhance the development of the town. Because once you have economic activity, it would stimulate the local economy.
Echoing similar sentiments was the Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo Region 9 Regional Chairman Brian Allicock.
We'll have more traffic in because, and then we are looking at our neighbors who are indicating that they want to have a link too. So that will have impact on the Lethem Township and the environment.
The pre-feasibility study for the upgrading of the Lethem Aerodrome to a regional airport was conducted by GSD+. The study included the demand and economic analysis, design proposal, and infrastructure budget. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
We leave you with this video of His Excellency David Granger as he expounds on the rich biodiversity and the government's vision of the Green State.
My concept of
of the protected areas ties into the administration of the country as well as our biodiversity. As part of the mainland, we have a very complex landscape, you know, the coastal zone, the lakes, the wetlands, the highlands, the rivers, the waterfalls. When you consider the complexity, and in fact each area has a different type of biodiversity. I'm convinced that every region could have a unique protected area. The Kaieteur Falls, the Victoria Ridge lily, these are things we own. I'm proud of them, I boast about them, I put them here. This is the largest lily in the world. How you like that? You know, everybody said. I think that we are now waking up to the treasure, the prize of our biodiversity. And by combining this rich resource with our protected areas, it will become a value which permeates society. And every region, every Guyanese citizen can say, this represents me, this represents my patrimony, this represents something that I want to hand over to my children and grandchildren. I think this is a place to love, that you could sit at the bank of the Essequibo River at Iwokrama and see that river flowing. You can see the caiman coming up there for morning breakfast. And it's love. It's love. And that is what is going to keep this country going.
That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, like and subscribe to our Facebook page for notifications. You can also follow us on Instagram for updates and visit our website at dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.